That if you liberate yourself completely of the brainwashing, which you can do, no one else can do it for you. I can't liberate you. Jesus can't liberate you. Trump cannot liberate you. You, and you alone, can liberate yourself, free yourself, emancipate yourself from the ideas to which you either willingly or unwillingly are bound to. And when you shed them all, and it's tough work, it ain't easy, when you shed them all, guess what? Your eyes are clear to perceive yourself in ways you have never perceived yourself before. Your mind and heart and energy centers are available. And as I like to put it, you open up some of the filters that we've locked and shuttered down. And thus, you can commune with the cosmos itself in ways that sound ridiculous and fantastical to you if you've never bothered trying. And why is this important? Because you are not alone, and you are part of a network, and it's all interconnected, and there is indeed a revolutionary wave. If enough of us liberate our own selves, heal our own selves, forgive our own selves, and begin to transcend our own selves, it activates those around us and energizes them and brings them with us, not on our path, but in towards their own. There's analogous proof of this throughout nature. And this is silly. Most people just kind of giggle because they can't quite wrap their minds around it when they first hear it. I know this for a fact because I did that myself and sort of, but that's the silliest thing I've ever heard, and rejected it until I went back and really looked into it and realized that, oh, duh, this really is real. Most species on the planet live in larger family groups than us little nuclear family humanoids have chosen to break ourselves apart. Gee, I wonder why we've done that. Because when you put yourselves in a little box, you're easier to control, manipulate, and profiteer on. But I digress. In nature, animals live in larger groups. And okay, that may come with inconveniences that we may, as civilized human beings, may not care to deal with anymore. But there's also strange and interesting and magical benefits. And here's what. One interesting and delightful example. When a new behavior is mastered, like truly mastered, and learned deeply by an individual, usually one that seems to be a bit brighter and, more engaged, more curious, more provocatively investigative of his or her surroundings, her or his surroundings, their surroundings, to be gender neutral, because I'm sure beavers don't care, or maybe they do. But once that new behavior is mastered, now they don't have language, and they don't have schools, and they don't have diagrams, and they don't have PhDs, but suddenly other members of their community, who may or may not have been standing around studiously staring at the behavior being exercised, suddenly catch on and start mirroring, not mimicking. I think mimicking is a misleading word. Mirroring. Why do I choose that? I'm going to stop here right now and tell you some heavy cosmic truth. We are all mirrors. Not only of each other, but of the entirety of the cosmos. And it is these filters that we cling to, and that some of which internally we choose, that directs and focuses what that mirror reflects. So, digressing from that little nugget of secret wisdom that I may or may not have authority to tell you, if an individual beaver says, conditions around me have changed, I need to radically redesign or re-engineer how I build my dam so that it's more efficient and more in harmony with nature, Because, God bless it, I don't know a single damn beaver in the history of the world that ever tore down and clear-cut a motherfucking rainforest just so it can build a 3-story condo for itself. Right? Whenever this beaver catches on with this new behavior and builds a new, more efficient, more green, more sustainable, more off-the-grid, more badass, comfy, cozy, safe and protective, functional beaver house for their family to enjoy and rest in and celebrate life in, the innovator doesn't go running off and patent it and then profiteer on it. Does it? Do they? No. They just live their lives. And beavers don't live in large communities. So this is one of those things where I point to large communities because it's all easy for us to wrap our minds around pack mentality, or at least we think it is. We've close relationships to dogs. They're pack animals. What do? We split them up and make them live by ourselves, and or worse, with their least favorite neighbor, the cats, and the birds, all of which they want to chase around and bark at and bite and chew their heads off, and we punish them and make them feel ashamed of themselves for doing it. Why do we, not that I'm trying to make a case for not owning pets, though I know people who feel that way. They're like the most extreme of extreme vegetarians, and I have much love and respect for everybody, but it's okay to just be where we are right now. But I digress. This beaver, who didn't take out the patent, who didn't profiteer on his new, fabulous, awesome, green, healthy, innovative, totally in tune with Mother Nature, design improvement. He also didn't go off and brag and boast about it and tell his neighbors and go and drag them over to show it off. Right? They just live their lives. Moving along, doing beavery things. And yet, on a global scale, over time, more and more beavers will tune in to this new innovative design and express it themselves in their beaver house, lodge, dam construction. Now, it's not that I'm trying to say that they're, psychic, quote unquote, because that's just a derogatory term, the way it's been hijacked and repurposed in pop culture. Although there's obviously a lot of take back, and there's a lot of people who are proud to call themselves psychic, and I'm not trying to open up that can of worms, but I'm not trying to build an argument that beavers are psychic. What I'm trying to say is, I think that's indicative of what I'm talking about, this natural, organic, innate energy network that all life forms of common birth share with each other, and that ultimately this energetic web of connections has to do, indeed, directly with consciousness. Consciousness at a level outside of and larger than the brain pan, The greatest disservice we've ever done to ourselves through science is to convince ourselves that only that which is inside our skull is us. And that there can be no aspect of us that resides outside of the skull. Because all the brain mass is inside the skull, so there couldn't be any bit of our consciousness elsewhere. That's nonsense. We exist on multiple levels. And the body is just one of those levels. So therein lies all the hope, my friends. All the hope of healing and transformation, and not just for you and for your family, but for everyone.